Hello, everybody. I'm a practicing therapist and a doctoral student of psychology. Today, we're going to talk about one thing that I feel can help an avoidant to feel more comfortable chasing and initiating within the relationship or within a couple or within two people who are in love. A lot of times, the avoidant individual tends to be the one that may initiate prior in the beginning because the pressure is not as high. But as the pressure and connection and actual love increases, they actually tend to back off a little bit from that initiation. However, it's healthy for the initiation to be balanced, which is why a lot of people are trying to wonder, how can I make an avoidant partner chase and initiate so that it's a little bit more balanced again, okay? And so the number one way to make an avoidant actually chase you is I know it doesn't sound fancy, but it is true, genuine accountability while managing your emotions. And I'm going to give you about 8 steps on how to do that. But why it's very important is a lot of times avoidant individuals, the reason that they step back in relationships is because they feel like they're always going to be the one to have to give, and they're very afraid of being taken from. But also, they're afraid that as they continue to admit how they feel about you, your expectations are going to increase higher and higher and higher, and you're going to have more and more emotions attached to that expectation or lack of them fulfilling that, so disappointment, to which they don't know how to manage your emotions. And so if you're able to take accountability while managing your emotions, their fears of why they don't chase you is basically dissipated. And so they're going to feel more comfortable initiating again. So let's talk about how to do that so that you can implement that within your own relationship. The very first one is you want to pause before reacting, actually. It sounds very simple, but a lot of times people, they react based on what they think is happening. All of us. Doesn't even matter if you're secure or insecure attached. Most people, we perceive something and then we react based on it. But sometimes what can help is if we take a moment to just try and understand our perception may not be accurate, or maybe our reaction might be based on a past incident or what we believe might be happening, and being a little bit more comfortable just taking a little bit more time before responding. Sometimes what you can do is you might even say, I hear you. I need a minute to process so I can respond fairly. That in of itself, avoidants really appreciate that. I hear you. Give me a minute. I'll get there. That's all right. It sets some emotional boundaries as well. The next one is you need to separate, or you might feel more comfortable separating your emotions from your responsibility. Both can exist at the same time. All you need to know is what's going on with you. You might say, I feel hurt or embarrassed. That's your emotion, okay? Responsibility. But I also said something that probably wasn't very nice either. So there, emotion, responsibility. Understanding that those two things you're still allowed to feel. Just because you messed up doesn't mean you can't feel an emotion. Some people go the other way completely. Maybe I was not calm, so my feelings don't matter at all. Avoidants do that, right? This didn't work out, so let me just disengage completely. That's not healthy either. Just being aware, I feel a little hurt, I feel embarrassed, but I also shouldn't have said what I did, right? Two can exist at the same time. Once you separate those things, the next thing that you do is you want to own your actions clearly. You want to say it in a structured way, okay? You can say something like, I crashed out because I was upset, and I understand how that affected you. I shouldn't have done that in the middle of Thanksgiving dinner. That was on me. Shouldn't have done that in front of all your folks. I feel bad about that. I was upset. I should have kept what we feel and what we're going through personally, right? I felt like the reason I did that is because I felt like you were ignoring me the whole time. And I wanted you to hear me. And I felt like maybe it would make more sense if I said it in front of other people, because they might be able to back me up. And actually what happened is you felt embarrassed and I just made things worse, and I'm very sorry. Let's say that's what happened, okay? Just made that up on the fly, but that's just an example, okay? The next one is you want to also label your emotions instead of acting from it. So you can even say it out loud. I feel frustrated by what you're saying, but I'm listening. I feel defensive, but I want to understand you. I feel disappointed, but I also know that this is hard for you. Being able to put your emotion while also empathizing your partner can really help to make an avoidant feel more comfortable. I know this doesn't sound like, oh, it's all magical, they're going to start chasing you, but they are going to feel more comfortable initiating. Give it even a couple weeks, you will see a little bit more initiation on their side, I promise, okay? If they really are an avoidant and they really do care about you and you're trying your best, usually this is very helpful. It happens a lot in couples therapy. Again, it depends on the level of your avoidant and who you are, but it can really help, okay? Validating your partner's experiences, even if you don't fully agree with every detail, because we don't always agree. That's part of life. I can see how that hurt you. I understand why you felt defensive. That makes sense given what happened. You can say things like that. It doesn't have to be, you're right, I was wrong, you know everything, I don't know anything. You don't need to say it like that. I can see how that hurt you. You know what? I did say it a little harsh. The truth is, I was trying to say it like this, probably came out wrong, right? That's really common, okay? The next one is you want to share your perspective after you've taken accountability, okay? Maybe you said the whole Thanksgiving thing. I shouldn't have said that at Thanksgiving, X, Y, and Z. Just like we were saying, I was feeling a little bit hurt saying it in this way, just like we were talking about earlier. I shouldn't have, brought this up during Thanksgiving in front of your folks. That was on me. That was unfair. I will never do that again. The reason I did that is because I felt like you don't listen. I was hoping that you would hear me. That's not an excuse. But here's what happened on my side. What do you feel about that? Right? So accountability first, explanation second, okay? The next one is you want to make some sort of concrete repair, offering a real apology, but even especially adjusting a behavior. I'm not going to do that again. Next time I do it, call me out on it if you're comfortable doing so. I'm okay with, trying to do that. Just let me know. And I'll check in as well. I want to change. Being able to have that concrete repair can really help, okay? The next one is very important, and it is the last point, but it is one of the most important points if you are with an avoidant. Move forward. Most avoidants don't, even if they're the ones that got hurt, they don't want to be stuck with the same type of thing on and on and on. Avoidants do not like that. The reason is because a lot of them feel like that just adds more intense emotions. And the intensity of that emotion can be really, really frustrating. And so a lot of times, and fearful avoidants, honestly, you guys struggle with this the most. I'm not picking on you, but I'm being honest. Even if you're the person that did something wrong, you're stuck on that too. Your partner did something wrong, you're stuck on that. You feel like you did something wrong, you're also stuck on that. And then what ends up happening is you feel more negative, you feel uncomfortable, you might even pull away, or you might crash out, or both, back and forth, whatever it is. And so learning to move forward with what happened. Maybe you did that Thanksgiving thing that we made up on this video, right? We just made up some example, okay? Maybe you did that. It's okay. Move on. You guys didn't break up. You're still together, because a lot of times your biggest fear is that abandonment, right? You're afraid that you guys will break up. You didn't break up. You survived. You moved past it. You're going to change. They probably, without you realizing it, they probably took in what you said, though. They probably did hear you, and they did feel like they should change too. So now you both are trying to make some change. Move on. It's much better. And sometimes you can even say, avoidants love this. Let's just move on. Let's chalk it up. Some part of it was miscommunication. Right? Avoidants love that. Sometimes it is miscommunication. And so saying that and being aware of that can really help. Avoidants don't actually like the blame game. They don't want to blame you. They don't want to be blamed. They just want everyone to try and move on. And next time it'll be better. For them, it feels like less emotionally heavy. And so let's go ahead and summarize, and then we'll wrap it up. The first one is you want to pause before reacting. Second one is you want to separate your emotions with your responsibility and understand they can happen at the same time. The third one is you want to make your actions clear. The fourth one is you want to label your emotions instead of acting from it. The next one is you want to validate your partner's experience. The sixth one is you want to share your perspective after you've taken accountability. Seventh one is you want to make a concrete repair. And the eighth one is you just want to move forward, and next time you'll do better. And they will do better as well. I hope this video is helpful to somebody. Please like, subscribe. I will see you in the next one.